Three, two, one, go. Rico knows what we doing, baby. We chillin' tonight. We got college football. We got UFC. We got sports betting and high school football film reviews. Rico knows what we doing, baby. Let's go. In three, two, one, go. Rico knows what we doing, baby. We chillin' tonight. We got college football. We got UFC. We got sports betting and high school football film reviews. Rico knows what we doing, baby. We chillin' tonight.
Hey, what up, YouTube, TikTok, the whole world? I just had to play a little bit of the intro song. We have about 22 different intro songs. Shout out to me. We just wanted to give you guys a little taste. Speaking of giving you a little taste, I am doing this video for free. I've decided tonight's game is free. It's been a hell of a week. If you don't know, I'll let you know. I'll pull up the chart so I can show you guys something real quick. If you're not an MVP and you didn't get to see the chart for week one, this is what it looks like. I can stand proudly in front of my work and tell you we did a hell of a job. Now, tonight, we do have a game. It's right here. TCU at North Carolina, and it's considered a coin flip game on the money line. And then on the spread, it's right here highlighted, and it's TCU North Carolina considered a coin flip on the money line. If you don't know how to read this chart, that's cool, bro. We got you. These are the locks over here. These are the locks, and against the spread, we hit 64% on week one. Sometimes we're aiming for 68, 70%, who knows. But at the end of the year, our goal is to be 60% against the spread. It's very difficult. Somewhere between 59 and 60 is the social norm. Hopefully we stay there. We keep doing it. Shout out to the MVPs. We bet these straights, no parlays. Bet them straight, bet them straight. We do parlay the money lines. You can see how many money lines we got right. Only 8 upsets in college football in week one. One thing I will talk about is the talent chart at some point during this video. I'll make reference to that. MVPs know what that means. That means I'm talking about a chart that I created in the preseason to tell me which teams are better. One MVP suggested, hey, Rico, when we have the coin flips on the talent chart, we need to take into consideration coaching. We talk about this all the time. So what I'll tell you guys is if you took coaching into consideration and you said, all right, Rico, you evaluated the talent on these two rosters, but who has the better coaching staff? If you did that, you would have hit 2 more times. You would have won twice. You would have done Northwestern at Tulane. You would have accurately predicted Tulane to win the game if you took the coaches. And the other one is probably Auburn and Baylor, just because I think Dave Aranda and them boys at Baylor aren't the greatest. So you would have got 2 extra wins at that point on the coin flip games. Outside of that, I don't know if you would have taken South Florida over Boise or Miami over Notre Dame if the talent chart told you to. So there's just that whole thing there. But by and large, the talent chart helps us pick the coin flip games. Everything else, it's my assessment, my analysis, and what I'm telling you to do. For this particular game here, I'm going to tell you it's a no-bet game. It's a coin flip game. That's why I'm giving it away for free. It doesn't really matter. It is a no-bet game on the outcome of this game. I'm taking TCU. They're on my talent chart at the top. Now, I just got through telling you, if you're going to take TCU or North Carolina, if you wanted to look at the coaching staff, who would you pick? Well, I'm going to tell you Sonny Dykes is a hell of a coach, and he gets the most out of his players. He's been doing this a very long time, and he's been doing it at the collegiate level for a very long time, right? He's amazing. And he's going up against the GOAT. He's going up against the greatest coach of all time. Everybody's going to tell me Bill Belichick this, Bill Belichick that. His son is the defensive coordinator. Shout out to Steve. And you guys are going to say, this is the greatest coach. I'm going to go with the coaching staff of North Carolina. And I'm going to tell you, woo, not so fast, my friend. Shout out to Lee Corso. I'm just saying that, yes, that sounds about right. It briefs well, but we don't necessarily know how it's going to look at the collegiate level. I think for this particular game, being the first game in the Bill Belichick era, you need to be very careful on how you assess this because you have no earthly idea how these teams are going to perform. You really don't. Now, we do know some tendencies, and I'm going to talk about those throughout the game, but I'll give you guys the process. You see this game, it's in North Carolina, so you got to go check the weather at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. We pull it up here. The weather, the game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. If we look 8 p.m. Eastern, it'll have 14-mile-per-hour winds. That's not enough to really impact the game. Anything over 20, you need to be concerned about throwing the ball, but 14 miles per hour, not the end of the world. It's a little difficult here and there, but those are just the gusts for the most part. Everything else, insignificant. It's not going to be raining. The weather's going to be fine. So let's go see a football game now. Let's go talk about these teams. We're going to break down the teams first. TCU, I have them winning this game by 3.5 points or more, meaning they're going to win by over a field goal. They're going to need to score a touchdown or something to that effect. I got it. Listen to me. I'm high on Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover broke the school record at TCU last year, throwing the ball almost 4,000 yards. Yes, that's the school record. And while they say he threw 11 interceptions, I want to make everyone clear that about 6 of those came in a 3-game span right there. You see those 3 games? He threw 6 interceptions over the course of a terrible month in September of all things. And it was SMU, Kansas, and Houston. That's it. Those 3 games were really bad games. Well, by the way, they lost 2 out of the 3. Other than that, man, down the stretch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With the season on his back, he wins 6 out of the last 7 games. And 5 interceptions. And when you start hearing these numbers, like, oh, 5 interceptions, we go, that's a lot of interceptions. No, it's not. Not for a guy that's throwing 471 times. Not for a guy that's throwing on average 35 times a game. I'm telling you, he's going to have somewhere between 28 and 32 completions in this game. Like, he's going to be airing it out. And if they're losing, it's going to go even higher. But they don't have a running game. This is not a team that runs the ball that well. They don't have running backs. They did hire a new running backs coach. What's his name? Jimmy Smith came over from Arkansas, former high school coach at Cedar Grove. And I like Jimmy Smith. Like, he's cool. But the real reason they have Jimmy Smith on all these rosters is because he has a pipeline to Georgia to get you Georgia running backs. Well, that's really cool at Arkansas. It's not relevant at TCU. You don't have to go all the way to Georgia to find running backs. You can get them right there in Texas, right? So who are the running backs on this team and what do they have? Well, first thing is Cam Cook is gone now. Cam Cook is at Jacksonville State. So he's the starting running back over at Jacksonville State. Savion Williams was the second leading rusher on this team. Savion Williams is now in the NFL. This is a wide receiver. The team's second leading wide receiver, or fourth leading receiver. Well, I didn't know he was fourth. He's the second best receiver on this team. I think he's the best one personally. But Savion Williams now in the NFL. Jeremy Payne's still here. Excuse me. And Trent Battle's still here. Now, I'm going to tell you that Jeremy Payne and Trent Battle, they're not really bell cow backs, not people you can believe in. The first guy I'll talk about is Jeremy Payne. He is an actual running back. This guy has a little bit of burst to him. He's got a little speed to him. He's 5'10", 180. He's not that big. He can make people miss, and he can pop a big one. Like, he really got it. I like Jeremy Payne's ability to run the ball. He will not be the feature back in this game. I don't anticipate him being the feature back in the game because he's not feature back material. This is change of pace back. This is not somebody you should throw any money on. This is not somebody you believe in. I hope he plays well. If he does play and get some carries, Jeremy Payne's pretty decent. Then we have Trent Battle. Trent Battle should never be in your starting lineup. Trent Battle's not a real running back. He's a high school quarterback, kind of converted over to running back, and I'm sure we've heard a lot of these situations before, but it's the truth. He was a dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. That's how they evaluated him. He got to TCU. They move him to running back, and he's never really been that guy that can contribute to the point where they're using receivers in the running back room instead of him. So they did hit the transfer portal, though, and they went and got a running back. You don't see him here, but they went and got a running back that I really believe in, and his name is Kevorian Barnes. And shout out to Kevorian Barnes. He reached out to me on Twitter sometime this offseason, and he just said, Mr. Rico, I don't know you and you don't know me, but I found out you made a video about me 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you made a video about me, and he says, you really helped me with my confidence because you go to work, you go to practice every day, and you go work out, and you go to the team, and you fall out of favor with the coaching staff. Now, he was at UTSA, and 2 years ago, I told you guys Kevorian Barnes was one of the best 3 running backs in the group of 5. Like, he's up there. I put him ahead of so many other people. And then, unfortunately, he goes into the season. I think at one point early in September, he had 3 fumbles. He lost all 3, and then he fell out of favor right then. And UTSA went with Brandon High, who's now starting at an FBS team. They went with who's their starting running back right now? The kid who just rushed for almost 200 yards against Texas A&M yesterday. So 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? What's today? Monday? 2 days ago. So it's just one of these situations where Robert Henry, excuse me. They give Kevorian Barnes put him in the doghouse, if you will. He's a very good football player. And I know they have him listed 3rd here on the depth chart. Don't be surprised to see Kevorian Barnes playing tonight and being utilized. Now, I will say that while I think these are exceptionally talented players in the running back room for TCU, they're not part of the offensive scheme. The offensive scheme for Josh Hoover is to go air it out. I have 4 receivers that I throw to. Not they don't really use the tight end all that much. It's 4 receivers, and they're going to find out who their 4th receiver is. I know that they're going to use these guys. Now, I'll go down the list here. Eric McAllister is 6'6" and can't be covered. This guy's going to be good for at least 60 yards tonight. I would say he gets about 20 yards of reception. He's a big play threat. Think of Megatron. I'm not exaggerating. Think of Megatron beating defenses deep, going over the top. This is a Boise State transfer. He used to ball out of control at Boise State. Transferred in here. Nothing's changed. He's still a mega baller. Jordan Dwyer hit the transfer portal after a stellar year at Idaho. Once again, all them Idaho transfers are the bee's knees. He's one of the best. He had over 1,000 yards in the FCS. This is a great receiver. I think he gets open all the damn time. So I look forward to seeing him get a bunch of yards. And then we have Joseph Manjack. He's a slot receiver, but Joseph Manjack actually started his career at USC, then transferred to Houston. So this is a guy, USC, Houston. Don't think he's a small little Wes Welker kind of guy. He's 6'3", 205. He's a mismatch problem. I actually think Jordan Dwyer is more of the slot receiver, and he's more of a Z receiver or off the ball wide receiver type. But this guy can get open and really frustrate you. So between Joseph Manjack, we'll find out who they're throwing to, and that's the only thing. Is from a gambling perspective, you don't know who's going to be the target and how many receptions they're going to get. Now, when I get over here to Prize Picks at the end of the video, I'm going to talk to you about one of the sections here and receptions and how you can make some bets and believe in it. But when I look at this, it's going to be difficult to find out who we really believe in to be the go-to wide receiver. All you need to know is they're going to throw the ball. Josh Hoover's throwing the ball. They're not changing their ways of doing anything, okay? Offensive line, they seem pretty healthy right now. They seem healthy, and they got some good players. Cade Bennett coming back. This is a former stud at San Diego State. Transferred in last year, got injured, missed all last year. But everybody else has been playing a whole lot of football. Ryan Hughes, not so much. But the rest of these guys, yes. Studs, been around for a couple years. I like where they're at right now on the offensive line. I do. I don't necessarily know about the depth. I don't feel like it's all that great. And you're going to see North Carolina's strength is their depth. And I'll talk about that in a few. But for me, this starting 11 is real. A tight end, DJ Rogers, it's finally his chance to start. He's never really started. He is a former 4-star, 6'4", 250. He used to get like one big play a game, but never been the guy. And now it's his chance to be the guy. They brought in Pimpton. Pimpton's a transfer from LSU. No shame in not being able to start at LSU and being buried on that depth chart in that tight end room. But we'll see if he's not worth betting on or anything. You still got a lot to learn here. The backup quarterback is Ken Sills. He's a transfer from Vandy. Pretty good guy. Been around for a long time. I like him. So there's depth there. They got it going on. Defensively. All right. So we got Devin Dill and Marcus Dill, the Dill brothers. They're brothers. They've been around for a long time. Studs. Absolute studs. What you'll notice about these guys, even if I go right on, let me do this. Let me see. I've never done this before. So I'm about to do this for you guys. I want you to see the size of their defensive linemen and the defensive tackles. If we just click on them. Marcus Dill is 6'5", 330. And he's amazing. Okay, 6'5", 330. How are you moving that guy? Like, where are your running lanes going to be? 6'3", 291. And got 6 sacks last year at Washington State. Right? Melton's not loading. Cole Perry, 6'3", 300 pounds. What I'm telling you is they have so much depth and just meat up there to just be in your way. And Michael's not loading. Okay, they got all the depth up here to just be in your way, but Marcus Dill sets it apart. 330 pounds, 6'5", 330, right over your center. And this is going to be a problem. And because North Carolina centers, both of them are injured. So who are they going to play at center? Because Austin Blasky's out for the first month of the season, and then they brought in Christo Kelly to give them depth. That's the Holy Cross transfer, and he's out. So who's starting at center? They're going to move a guard over, or are they going to play Bo Burkus? Whoever it is, he's not ready. Chad Lindenberg might be the guy that's ready, but we'll talk about it. I just feel like there's a problem up front, and we saw how bad a center can sabotage you. Almost sabotaged Clemson, right? Or not Clemson, Georgia Tech against Colorado. So there's a problem there. Linebackers. Both these teams run 4-2-5 defenses. You see this up here, 4-2-5. So they have 2 linebackers. I would say TCU's linebacker core is easily top 10 in America, in the entire country. These are top 10 linebackers in the entire country. Both seniors, been around multiple years, and they are leaders on the football field. They're going to finish the season with over 90 tackles each. Like, they're just so good. Caleb Elamzar started his career at Cal, and now he's here, and Nnamdi's just a pro. These are draft picks. Like, they're pros. At the corner positions, you've got really sticky corners. I'm going to say the secondary is the strength of the team, even though I just told you the linebackers are top 10. The secondary is real because Bud Clark is here, and Bud Clark has been the leader of this defense for 2-3 years now. Bud Clark is real. And then you've got Channing Canada, JUCO transfer. I know his brother as well, Chase. But Channing Canada is really sticky, hard to get open. And when you start seeing guys like this, Avery Helm, he's a transfer from Florida, and he's not in the starting lineup. And Avery Helm used to play at Florida. So it's one of these situations where you start looking at a team and you go, wait, they got depth. They got real depth. And they got stars. They got players. So TCU is a lot better than you think. And the one thing TCU can do is score like crazy. Winning 6 out of your last 7 games, you're on that trajectory when you start looking at the players and what they do. And I shouldn't have left this part out. Even when you look at a running back like Trent Battle, who I just got through telling you he's a converted quarterback and he's just kind of here as the running back, he's not terrible. He started, I'd say, the last 5 games last year. The start of the year he wasn't starting because he was injured. So coming back from an injury, and then he gets the playing time. These guys are going to score a ton of points, is the point I'm trying to make. Even against a defense that I really respect. And shout out to North Carolina. When you go look at the returning production, it's not the same. New quarterback, Gio Lopez, will go in depth about him. Running back room, David Gauss is the only guy you should know that's coming back. I'll talk about everybody else, but lost all the production. So this is just going to be a whole new starting lineup, if you will. Receivers, where's my guy? Pasor's still here. Shout out to little Kobe Pasor. Pasor and Jordan Shipp is here. Two studs. 2 studs in the receiver room that are back, but we'll break it down for you. North Carolina's not scrubs. That's why it's a coin flip game. North Carolina's not scrubs. It's just a matter of putting it all together and figuring it out. So we'll start with Gio Lopez. He's going to touch the ball every single play. I just told you TCU's strength on their defense is their linebackers and their secondary. When you start seeing a secondary that can shut down your receivers and these guys can't get open, that means your quarterback's going to tuck it and run. And Gio Lopez is perfect for running. Like, he's a dual threat guy, big guy. He's been playing at South Alabama for a couple of years. Always popped on tape for us. Always been impressed with Gio Lopez. He can tuck it and run. So one of the props I'm going to show you on the chart at the end of this is 25 yards rushing. It's at a minus 200 right now. That is phenomenal. All you guys out there trying to hit a plus 500, plus 600 parlay on this game, you're idiots. Like, this is a game that you don't know who's going to win. It's a coin flip. No point in betting on the spread or the money line or any of that. But when you look at it, you can go, yo, Gio Lopez, 25 yards, that feels about right. Yeah, that feels about right. And he's going to tuck it and run because he can, and 25 yards feels pretty good. And if it's minus 200, give me that ROI. That's half my money. I got to put 200 to win 100, so I got to put 50 to win 25. Give me a large pizza, and I'm good. I don't need to go heavy. I'm not trying to get rich today. We just had a tremendous weekend. I got Dana White Contender Series tomorrow. I got UFC fights next Saturday. I got college football games. I got a couple on Friday, and then we got a full slate on Saturday. So I'm just there, okay? I'm letting you know, Gio Lopez, if nobody's open, he's going to tuck in and run and get his yards. There is no backup quarterback. Bryce Baker, I don't know him at all. Don't believe in him. Max Johnson, I believe in. Shout out to Max Johnson being 3rd string here. Max Johnson, son of Brad Johnson, former NFL quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback at the Buccaneers. He came here, I think he was a starter at LSU at one point. Played at Lake Oconee Oconee County. Maybe Oconee County. Here in Georgia. I remember when they won the state title. Well, he was there with his brother, Jake Johnson. Now, Jake is a big-ass tight end, and Jake is very impressive. And I think Jake is a hell of a tight end. Not surprised to see Jake starting. I like Jake a lot. He's 6'6", 250, complete stud, transferred in from Texas A&M. Like Jake a lot. And then you get to the receiver room. Receiver room last year, I told you Jordan Shipp was my hidden gem. Jordan Shipp is him. Jordan Shipp is great. I just hope he can get open. True sophomore. Love Jordan Shipp and what he does. You saw Kobe Pasor was very productive last year, or at least semi-productive, and he's back. So there we got 2 guys there. And then you get Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson, no shade to Isaiah Johnson. Just went to a receiver room at Michigan State, and I thought he did well with the reps he was given. Like, he's going to get open, and he's going to get a bunch of yards. I shouldn't say he's a deep play threat, but he's going to get yards and yak. He's slippery. He's nice. No, there's other elite receivers at Michigan State, but he came here to get paid. And what you're going to see is a lot of these guys came here to get paid. Apparently, North Carolina had a ton of money, so they were able to go get players. But the way they went about doing it was they recruited depth. And I think depth is important. But it's important in the NFL. It's important in 17-game seasons. It's not necessarily important in game 1. See, in game 1, what matters is your starting lineup. I want you to think of Colorado versus TCU 2 years ago. And when I told you Colorado was going to beat TCU, the reason I said that is because I evaluated starting lineups, not the backups. Everybody's healthy. We're in game 1. Just starters versus starters. Will this hold up over the season? I think UNC is going to hold up throughout the entire season because they have so much depth in every single position group. You see all this yellow over here? These guys are yellows, and look at this. These are all transfers, and they're all senior. You think they transferred to their final year not to play? No, they transferred to compete for playing time. So now you got this whole metal sharpens metal idea. You got a lot of depth, and you got a lot of good players, but you're only as good as your starting five. And that goes for the offensive line. That goes for maybe your starting secondary, things like this. So please be aware of that. Like, they have good players, and they have a great amount of depth. Obviously, good coaching staff, but it's going to take a while to gel. Now, where they struggle is their running backs are all pretty slow. Like two of them are pretty slow, significantly slower than they should be. Benjamin Hall and Demon June are just straight battering rams. I want you to think of trying to break into the castle, and they bring that piece of wood, and they bring that battering ram to knock down the big door. Yeah, that's what these guys are. They're just battering rams trying to knock you down and break you. That's great for ball control. That's great for trying to maintain a lead, get your 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's not great for playing catch-up football and trying to come from behind. Now, if they tried to establish this run, because they do have some good players, and I'll talk about some of these guys, but if they try to establish the run with their running backs, Davion Gauss, I hope he does great. He's got a little burst to him. I like him. It's encouraging. But what happens when he's tired? What happens when we go and grab these other? So Benjamin Hall's a backup. Let me go over this. Benjamin Hall's a transfer from Michigan, just really slow and doesn't impress me. I wouldn't be betting on him. Slow, doesn't impress me. I wouldn't be betting on him. And I don't know if Caleb Hood's going to even be used. And then you look at the offensive line. Will Osteen coming in as a transfer. He's coming over from Jacksonville State. He's a former 2-star player, so he really overshined. He really shined in Conference USA. And obviously, if he won the battle, position battles, that's cool. So he's here. But guys, some of these guys they brought in are small school FCS transfers who are just affordable depth. They treated this like they were GMs in the NFL, and you don't need a good third-string tight end. You just get an affordable depth. You get a guy that plays for the league man. So go get an all-conference guy from the Patriot League and bring him in here, that kind of shit. So the starters are fine. Banfield is a stud they found last year, and he started, he played as a freshman, and now he's here. Once again, I don't know who's playing center for this team. Daniel King coming in, complete stud, transfer, all-conference kind of guy, and Travion Green blocks out the sun. He does. Travion Green is what, 6'8"? 6'8", 340. Blocks out the sun, like I said. But you're looking at Davion Gauss, a Chaminade Madonna high school product, and then he's been here, played a little bit last year. It is what it is. Defensive line. This is where we kind of, you got to figure out what they're going to be. You got to figure out what they're going to be, and I don't know what it is. So C.J. Mims, Dontre Robinson, Isaiah John, they got a lot of depth and big dudes that they brought in, but these are rotational guys. Like C.J. Mims is not an all-conference guy or anything like this. He's coming from ECU, and he was rotational at ECU. And now you're starting because you're 6'2", 300 pounds. But I watch ECU football. You're on the field just to go out there, rotate, and you don't get anything. You're never touching the ball. You're never making a difference. Look at it. You can see it down here, man. 23 tackles, 4 tackles for less. You play a whole season, you get 1.5 sacks in the American. I'm watching it, and I'm going, okay. And then the other kid's a transfer from Florida, and yeah, he got some rotation at Florida, but it's not something I'm fucking jumping up and down about. To me, it's you're 6'4", 300 pounds, and you show up over here, and they're using you now. So you want to get a payday. You want to get a paycheck. You're a rotational guy at one school. You come over here, get starter money. It feels like the Mets, bro. It feels like the Redskins in the year 2000 when they signed all them guys, all them free agents, and said they were going to go win something. Now, Smith Vilbert has never impressed me. He's the oldest guy on this whole team. He's been around forever. He's a transfer from Penn State. But he's starting, and he's there. Cool. You've got Prince Yates. Prince Yates looks good. I like Prince Yates a lot. It's the other starting edge rusher. Pretty good player. Shout out to him. Then we got the linebackers. They're trying to convince me these linebackers are great. The recruiting websites will tell you Kamari House is the best linebacker in the transfer portal. Why? Why do they say that? He was a rotational guy at Washington as a freshman. As a true freshman, rotational guy at Washington. But you come over here to North Carolina, now you're Bill Belichick's thing, but he's really coming with his defensive coordinator. Steve Belichick, the defense coordinator, was at Washington last year. So you come over here, do you really compete for a starting job? You already got it. You're coming with your linebackers. You're coming with your defense coordinator. So they gave it to you. You don't see any yellow behind him. They didn't bring any transfers to push him. They just gave him the starting job. The one linebacker that's going to stick out tonight is Andrew Simpson. Andrew Simpson is a serious baller. Andrew Simpson is a transfer from Boise State. Boise State's missing him right now. He would have tackled everything in that game against South Florida. That's what they're missing. They're missing their middle linebacker, the leader of the defense, and that's him. But he's great against the run. Is TCU running the ball tonight? No. TCU's throwing, man. And they're going to throw at a secondary that's just kind of gelling together. Now, I love Caleb Cost, Marcus Allen. If you don't know Marcus Allen, he's from Walton. Shout out to Walton High School here in Georgia. 7A football is the real deal. I've always felt like Marcus Allen could play football. 6'2", 190. I've always felt he was elite. And I felt that way about a lot of these players. I just think Ty Adams, same thing. Where Ty Adams from? Oh, look at, I'm not even going to click on this. Ty Adams was a running back he played 1A football against Prince Avenue Christian in the state title game. He was one of the guys who broke free. Oh, man. He had a great state championship game. Him and another guy. It was what county? Oh, started with a W. No, it didn't. Oh, man. I'm going to hate it when I see it right now. Swainsboro. It wasn't a county. It was just Swainsboro. They're gold. Their color is gold and black. Swainsboro. State title game. Go watch it on GPB Sports. An amazing game. I once did a video on this. So I like Ty Adams a lot. So, I like these players. I've known them for years upon years. It's just, it doesn't feel the same. TCU feels like there's continuity. They've been together for multiple years. They know who they are. They know what they are. And this team is still trying to figure out who the starters are, who the backups are, and everybody's fighting for playing time. Everybody's fighting for rotations. There's no real pecking order here. It's just, hey, can I get on the field or not? Like, Bayer here wants to be on the field. Trust me. He flipped. Bayer transferred in. I thought he was supposed to go to Missouri. Where was he going? Transfer school. From Nebraska, but I thought he was supposed to be going to Missouri, and then he flipped. That kind of shit. So, end of the day, North Carolina's not bad. I think they're a good football team. They're trying to figure out their identity. We're going to find out if they're throwing the rock, airing it out. If they're airing it out, that'd be news to me because that's not really Gio Lopez's game. Gio Lopez is a good dual threat quarterback who kind of extends plays with his legs and then finds openings and stuff. But he plays a lot of, and I don't mean this in a negative slight at all. He plays hero ball. Like the ball has to go through him to win games. Whether he's running it or he's throwing it. Aiden Childs does the same thing. What's his name? DeQuan Finn at Miami of Ohio does the same thing. Kyron Drones does the same thing. You're a dual threat guy. You're going to extend plays and give us an opportunity to win with your legs. And if you find somebody open, you find somebody open. So if you study Virginia Tech, now Gio Lopez isn't even that fast. He's just a dual threat guy because he's big and can run. But if you look at Virginia Tech, for example, they had 3 NFL wide receivers the last couple of years. Allie Jennings, Jacoby Lane, Quan Felton. Like they had all these receivers. Couldn't use them because everything's got to go through Kyron Drones first. And then he's got to get you the ball. That's why Thomas Castellanos not at Boston College anymore. Thomas Castellanos at Boston College. Those Boston College receivers are amazing. Jaden Skeet. All these guys are great. Can't get them the ball. So you go down to Florida State where they're going to utilize you to run the ball. And now the offense runs through you. You touch the ball every play and you go run it. And I'm saying Gio Lopez is closer to that type of player than he is a drop back quarterback to spread the ball out and get it to people. Gio Lopez is not a burner, guys. I keep saying he's dual threat. Please don't turn on the tape and go, Rico, you told me this guy's dual threat. And no. He's just athletic enough to get some yards. He's not going to beat you to the corner or nothing like that. So I hope you guys have watched a lot of South Alabama football over the last couple of years. MVP, shout out to you guys. So there's all that. So now let's go over the bets and what we see here. Once again, I wouldn't really be too interested in any of these. If you have to take them, I think there's value on the dog just because it's a 50-50 chance that they'll be competitive in this game. And that plus 146 on North Carolina looks enticing. It looks interesting. It's fine, but I'm right here. I'm not flipping. I can't do that. It's a coin flip game. I think no money should go on it. Now, who's going to score a touchdown? I don't know who's scoring a touchdown for North Carolina. I don't know how they're going to go about it in the red zone. If Gio's going to tuck it and go, if they're going to give it to Gauss, is he going to get scout by back and run back? I don't know any of that. So I'm never going to pick a North Carolina player for anytime touchdown. TCU touchdowns, Jeremy Payne. I don't like the price for that at all. Kavorian Barnes, who I think is going to be now, We don't know. I'm just telling you, Kavorian Barnes is my guy. I like Kavorian Barnes a lot, and they have him listed as third string. I could be talking crazy, and he gets no carries tonight. That happens. It's week 0. Week 0, week 1, props will kill you like crazy because you don't know what the teams are going to do. And for the UMVPs out there, you know what I'm talking about. We just watched Notre Dame not give the ball to Jeremiah Love. Third quarter, had 4 carries. You don't know what these coaches are calling. You got to watch them for a couple weeks before you get a trend on how they're going. So unless I see a prop when I go, hey, this is wrong, like I did in week 1, I did that right for a couple receivers. I was like, hey guys, this guy shouldn't be at 44.5. This is wrong. Vinny Anthony, Wisconsin, this is wrong. And I did that. Capel at Boise State, this is wrong. We got those right. But if you're trying to get these right in week 1, you're just guessing. And unless you're studying trends or you see it like I do, like I go, oh wait, that's the default rating. No, they got this wrong. And I let you know. I don't feel that way right now. I think all these prices are a little absurd. This is pretty good. Eric McAllister, big play receiver, gonna be taking the top off of defense. I'm sure they're gonna try to stop him, but even in the goal line, just the straight fade to him is there. This is a very good prop to me at 125, and this is absurd that he's a plus 1,000 as the first touchdown. Like I really believe that, but that feels like a decent bet to make at plus 125. It does. I don't know if I would do it. It just feels like a decent bet. Nobody else, though. I wouldn't be trying to guess at anybody else's touchdowns. I would leave it alone. Just for the first week. There's no point. The specials, team specials. We know these teams are capable of throwing, but I think TCU can do it by themselves. I don't know if I like the over in this game. We'll have to find out. I don't know if UNC's offense is going to be contributing and gelling that well initially. So we'll find that out. But if we're going to do one receiving touchdown to be scored in each quarter, it's a plus 600. That's a big number. It's usually around 300, 400. And this is because we don't know if North Carolina is going to contribute to this. But if they do in any way, we're going to hit this. Because TCU is going to be throwing touchdowns. And if you think TCU it can't score one passing touchdown in each quarter, you're tripping, bro. Josh Hoover does that kind of stuff. He does it all the time. So this seems like a doable bet right here. And I go light, bro. Like, I don't try to get rich on this stuff. I go, that's a tenth of a unit for me. That's $10. So that's where I'm at on that. That one looks pretty decent, though. Then they have don't ever touch the field goal specials. Then they have player specials. Now, when you go in here, the theory is Gio Lopez is going to throw 100 in each half. Not something I'll be betting on, but it's going to be possible. And the reason it's going to be possible, I want to make this very clear. They could be trailing in this game, or TCU has such a high-paced offense that they will not have the ball very long. Like, they're either going to get first downs and score, or they're going to punt 3 and out right away. That's it. There's not going to be long drives by TCU. TCU does not have ball control. TCU doesn't keep the ball for a long time. They're going to go get it done, or they're not going to get it done and punt. And then now North Carolina has the ball even more and even more and even more. So there's so many more opportunities. They might get 2 extra drives every half. And those will be opportunities for Gio Lopez to get 100 yards in each half. I don't know what the play calling is going to look like. So I'm not taking a stab at that. I don't know what that's like. Eric McAllister, 40 yards each half. What an awesome bet to make. It's tough, though. 25 would be more ideal. They know that, so they're not giving it to you. But 40 each half at 320, yo, that's gangster. If you think Josh Hoover's going off tonight, which doesn't sound very plausible just because UNC has good defenders. Like, UNC has a good defense, but there it is. If you think he's going off, it's a plus 370. Some of you guys, you just need to put some juice on something. You can't watch the game by itself. You can sit back, throw $10 on it. It's better than giving a waitress a $10 tip and she'll never call you back. She don't give a shit who you are. So there you go. Don't touch any of these. 30 passing yards each quarter. Don't do it. 20 receiving yards in each half. McAllister and Dwyer. What an awesome bet. What an awesome bet. I didn't see it initially. Yeah, this one's pretty solid. Guys, I think this is it. This is the bet you need to make. Now, we don't know how they're going to use Jordan Dwyer, but this is a bet to make. Give me the chart real quick. It's at 520. I don't have it on here, right? Yeah, plus 520. MVPs, you know the deal. If I stop in the middle of a video to make sausage, that's it, bro. TCU wide receiver. And we got Eric McAllister first. And Jordan Dwyer. And they're 20 yards. Was it only 20 each half? Not 25? 20 each half. Yeah. Yeah, guys. You have to make that bet. I don't know what you're doing. Now, some of you guys don't live in prop states. I got that. But you have to. And that one, you have to throw 30 on it. Yeah. You have to, guys. Don't be stupid. That's two. That's two, bro. That's 2 receptions for Jordan Dwyer and 1 for Eric McAllister in a half. Oh man. Yeah, don't ignore that. I think that's wrong. Gio Lopez to record 25 rushing yards each half. It's going to be difficult. It's probably worth a shot at 520. I like him 25 in the game, period. Remember, sacks reduces rushing total, but it feels pretty difficult, but that's a great payout for it. That really is. That's another one. Plus 520. Yeah, that's another one. You know, and I don't chase these all that often, guys. MVPs, you know me. I don't do this, but that's 25 yards each half, 25 rushing yards each half, and that's UNC quarterback Gio Lopez. Boom. Okay, it's worth it, and that's why we don't screenshot the charts until after the video. Let's go down. Eric McAllister, 50 yards each half. Yeah, those are a little more difficult. 50 yards each half is difficult because he might get a big reception and then not see it again for a while. That one's a little different. 20 versus 50. Don't like it. Davian Gauss, 50 rushing yards each half. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. I hope it happens. I hope he goes out there and proves all that stuff. I wouldn't touch it at all. Eric McAllister and Kobe Pace, 20 yards each half. That one feels really good as well. Pacer's going to get some receptions. He's going to get some touches. I wouldn't bet it, though. Davion Gauss and Kavorian Barnes, 5 yards rushing each quarter. Insane, dude. 5 yards is nothing. If you get a series, you're gonna still get those 5 yards, but that's every single quarter. I think Gauss is a lock for that. Kavorian Barnes is the one where we don't know if he's first, second, or third string. I think the books know he's probably not gonna start. That's why they put it out here at plus 800. Don't go heavy on this, but don't ignore it either. You just do that and feel good about it. Okay, so I wouldn't ignore that one. I think I have that on the chart. Gio Lopez to record, nah. And 200 yards each half, no. 1 passing touchdown each quarter. That's pretty surgical, and I wouldn't do it. It's there, but I wouldn't do it. Because if he's getting 1 touchdown in the first, second, and third quarter, it's probably a blowout by that time. I don't think he needs one in the fourth. Yeah, they're going to run out the ball at that point. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. All right, alternate spread. The only way to tease this is North Carolina plus 10.5. Once again, you want to go up against something else. You can't tease it any other way. That 260 is very doable for North Carolina at plus 10.5. You can parlay that with anything that you've liked to this point. I'm with it. Over-unders, I don't like guessing the over-under on this game. We don't know what the tendencies are going to be. I would, what is it at? Is that at 55? 54? It's a default number. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't do that for this week. There's no need to try to guess it this week. So we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that to plus 10.5 there. Alternate total, we won't do it. Score 2 touchdowns. No idea who's going to score 2 touchdowns. If there's anybody that's going to do it, it would be Eric McAllister, but I still wouldn't do it. And Gio Lopez can run them in the red zone, but I still wouldn't make those bets. Those aren't enough odds for me for the what ifs. Is this going to happen or not? Those are the 2 guys. No. Alternate passing yards. Don't touch Gio Lopez's passing yards. Some games he does well. Some games he just tucks it and runs, and it's hard to throw in this TCU secondary. Very difficult. Josh Hoover. He's always going to go for at least 250 yards. You have to, even if you, it's juiced out of its world. It's juiced out of its mind right now. But even if you don't think that this is going to happen, you just have to understand that is very parlayable. And that's a unit flip right there. That's a unit flip all day. You can be fine. And this right here feels like a solid, for me, I wouldn't put a full unit on this game because this game is a coin flip game. But if you really want to think about it, that's a solid half a unit, and you're getting back your ROI is nearly 100%. So, yeah, that's probably the bet to make right there for tonight, and just chill. Now, you can add a little bit of juice to it. You won't get much, and you say Josh Hoover's throwing 2 touchdowns. Holy smokes. Oh, because then if you say he's throwing 2 touchdowns, North Carolina is not going to be within 10 points, theoretically. What I would do if I'm doing this right here, Josh Hoover, 250 yards, I'd probably go down to 225 just to play it safe. Keep him at the 2 touchdowns, and then I just take North Carolina and move it all the way up to 17.5. And I'm still at 1-2-3 money. You can go to 21.5. Look at that. You just got yourself, and it's because if you guys didn't know, that's not a minus 1,000. It normally is a minus 1,000, but it's because you're picking contradicting things. You're saying a quarterback's going to do great on one team and this other team's going to keep pace at 21 points. So when you contradict yourself, you manipulate the algorithm, and that's how you get a plus 104 money. Look at how much better that bet is and how much more likely that is to happen than the previous one. You just got yourself way more yards or way more points. You got yourself 11 more points for North Carolina. This is a full unit bet at this point. It is. That's a full unit bet right there, and it's plus money. So that's how you cook. And sometimes, you guys, it's trial and error. Sometimes you can stumble onto greatness in the middle of a video, but that's how you cook that. And that's a plus 104. That'll go in the locks column when I'm done with this video. I don't want to have to type all that out, but it will go here at the end of this video. It'll go here, and the screenshot of this chart will be posted on Patreon for free. Please, if you're not a member, download Patreon, search RicoKnows. We'll change your life. We break down every single game like this, or at least I do. I don't know who the fuck we is, but I know I do. All right. Enough of that. Josh Hoover, the value there is pretty low. Not much you can do with it. Gio Lopez wouldn't touch it. I don't like it. Even if it says 2 touchdowns, he might not throw them. He's just going to run them in. Kavorian Barnes, there's my guy. So Kavorian Barnes, I'm not willing to bet on it outside of the 5 yards every quarter. I wouldn't bet on him any other way, but it makes sense that they have him here. I would not bet on a TCU running back. Last year, the leading rusher at TCU had 400 yards rushing. If you're doing the math in 12 games, that's less than 40 yards a game. If you see any TCU running back and you're not getting positive money until the 40, 50-yard mark, that's absurd. They were averaging less than 50 yards a game last year. We cannot take this bet, even a little bit. Okay? Davion Gauss. Gauss, another thing here is Gauss, hopefully he goes ham. Hopefully he does. But I would stay at the 50-yard range if you can. I wouldn't parlay to make this parlay worse. I would probably just start a whole new one. But I would keep him at 50 yards. Do I hope he goes for 80 or 90? Sure. But the minute they start trailing, then he's not part of the game plan anymore. Now they got to throw. And it's going to be tough to run. But he's a good running back. So 50 yards doesn't seem out of the question. Going to 80 like the books want you to, yeah, it's silly. Absolutely silly. There's no point. This right here is just a miss. That's just going to make you miss. You're just going to lose all your money. And here, well, why would I do a minus 240? Because it's not any good. No, that's money. This is money. This is nothing. Two totally different things. Gio Lopez. I like Gio Lopez rushing yards. I like him at 25. It's a minus 200. Careful. Hope he doesn't get sacked or whatever. But like I said, receivers get covered, not open. He's going to tuck it and run. He's not used to seeing defenses like this. South Alabama, their receivers, Voisin and these boys for the last couple years, even what's-his-face, Colin Lacey that transferred up to Louisville, they've had superior wide receivers to the DBs. And I'm not saying North Carolina doesn't have good wide receivers because they do. They're just not superior to the DBs. So he's used to seeing bigger passing windows. He's used to seeing a different scheme. Major Applewhite is his head coach over there. They're a different scheme. Shout out to Major Applewhite, great coach. But it's not the same at North Carolina. So there's going to be some growing pains here. Getting late to camp, not being there in January, stuff like that, just trying to figure things out. So give me Gio Lopez to tuck it and run. And at minus 200, that is all day, bro. That is a really feel-good bet. Look at that, at plus 21.5. Now we're not getting much value, but if we do Gauss in there, now you're at plus 131. So 25 yards rushing here, 50 yards rushing here, and don't lose by more than 3 touchdowns, and we just double the unit that way. And this is how you cook, okay? You don't keep adding. I don't like anything with 3 legs anyways. I like 2 legs, bro. I don't trust anything with 3 legs. You fucking with 3 legs, that's a dude. If you're with a girl and you left the club, it's dark in the room, and you're reaching down and you feel 3 legs, bro, you're in the wrong spot. You've got to feel the same way about betting your parlays here. This is the wrong spot with them 3 legs. All right, Eric McAllister. I think he's amazing. I think Eric McAllister's probably a lock for 60 yards. I wouldn't go any higher. Now, obviously, the books aren't going to pay you till he's 80, but you can get paid right here at 60. That's money. 60's real. So 60 with Gauss at 50. There you go. And there's 2 guys. That's a 2-legger for plus 111. I'm showing you where the money is on this game, and it's not in the 100 yards. It's not in the spread. It's not. This is where it's at. It's in these props and aiming a little lower than the anticipation. That's what you need to do. And you need to do it in pairs like this. This will flip a unit. This is so good. I'm going to draw it up again. And I'm going to go like this. I'm taking my screenshot. And this will be posted on Patreon and the Discord channel for the MVPs. If you aren't aware, we're on the Discord stage right now. They're watching me right now, MVPs. And if you go in here and you go to props, boom, you can see all the different props I have for tonight. And we post props constantly that I'm telling the MVPs what to play. Obviously, we have the weekly chart here that I post every single week with all the picks for all the games or all the fights or all the futures bets. We do every single UFC fight. We do every single college football game all year round. Shout out to them. So all you got to do, go to Patreon, download RicoKnows, become an MVP. All right, so there's a good play. Hope you take it. Hope you believe in it. Let's go down. Jordan Dwyer. We don't know how much they're going to use Jordan Dwyer. I like him a lot. Tape looks good. We'll find out. I think you're probably safe at 40 yards. Wouldn't include him in any of my parlays. This will be a straight bet all the way across. So for me, just so you know, I'm going to take a player prop like this. It would just be like $30. And I hope I get 13 back. I just need to see Jordan Dwyer go for 40. I'm good. I don't need to get rich on Jordan Dwyer, and I don't need him to fuck up my parlay because they didn't give him as much playing time as anticipated, or he didn't get as many receptions because he doesn't have the same rapport with Josh Hoover like I thought. So don't get crazy, but don't make it worthless, right? That's fine. Minus 225 is fine. And you got to start getting content with hitting minus 200s all the time. I promise. Joseph Manjack, same thing. Like him a lot. Wouldn't go beyond 25 yards. I'll be chilling. Paysor wouldn't go beyond 25 yards. Chilling. Hopefully it happens. That's one where I don't feel confident. Look, you're getting 25 yards here. This is if you're on the North Carolina one, you're at minus 118 money. It's not quite the same as the others, but it's 25 and 25 for some of their best guys. DJ Rogers, TCU now, the starting tight end. He's never really been there. I've seen him go for 40 yards on a reception before. I've seen him do some good work, but I wouldn't tell you go in here and ladder him to 40. Remember like Burkhall at Iowa State? And I'm like, guys, they got this shit wrong. Burkhall's going to go and get his shit. And he got it in the first series. And Burkhall scored a touchdown and ended up with 4 receptions, 80 yards. Like, I can tell when tight ends are being undervalued by the books. This is not undervalued by the books. This is just, we're not quite sure if DJ Rogers is going to get the touches he deserves. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking a stab at that 102 for 30 yards on DJ Rogers. Nothing wrong with it, MVPs. If you believe it, I just wouldn't go a full unit. I would literally sit around at 10 and just be like, yo, at least I'm at, and just be laughing because you got it right. Okay? So the props are where your money's going to be tonight. UNC total points, wouldn't touch it at 24.5. Let's just leave it and learn. TCU, they're saying 28.5. I think TCU is good for 35, but what do I know? What do I know? North Carolina defense might show up. Steve Belichick at Washington. What did he do last year at Washington? Go study what he did at Washington before you come over here and start talking these bets. At the same time, study what TCU did down the path and down the road for the last 5 or 6 games of the season last year, and when they were blowing everybody out, when they were winning games. They put up 38-49. These were terrible teams. Then they kind of went 20 against Cincinnati, and then you end the season 34 on a Louisiana team that was good last year compared to this year. Fucking trash. But the point I'm trying to make is they're probably in the 30-point range. They really are. Even against Baylor when they lost, they're probably in the 30-point range. And you see these guys, North Carolina, don't ever talk about the North Carolina team from last year. The wheels fell off. They lost to UConn in the bowl game, which is embarrassing. Losing to NC State, who was absolutely terrible and still probably is, and then losing by 20 to Boston College. I hope they got rid of every single player that contributed to those losses. They essentially did. Okay, so they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I think it's going to be a competitive game, and we're going to learn about these teams. I don't think you need to bet on any of this. No alternate totals, no first drive results. Don't do it. Don't do the punt. Don't do the touchdown punt. Just no guessing right now. First quarter spread. It's 1.5, so there's really no point in taking it unless you know who's going to be in the lead by the first quarter. I wouldn't touch it. Second quarter, wouldn't touch it. They do this. When you see all these 1.5s like this, it's because they want you to do this bet. This one right here, the lazy bet. Never do this lazy bet. 4,078 people just lost their money. They thought it was cool. They see a plus 1,700, and they go like this. But all it is they all put a $10 wager, and they're never going to see their $10 again. That is 4,000 people who are never going to see those $10 again. There's no way that you can sit there and say to yourself, TCU is going to outscore North Carolina in every single quarter. No matter what. They got to outscore them in every single quarter. I don't see that happening, and even if it does, I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't. Learn. There's no need to do that first week. None whatsoever. Will there be overtime? Not betting it. First half total, 28 is what you're looking at. 4 touchdowns. So the over, the value is there in the over, and that means you expect 4 touchdowns from between both these two teams. So we're talking 14-14. I respect the defenses enough and the coaches enough to not really go there. It's possible. It's possible. 28's there. I wouldn't bet it. I don't feel that comfortable. I would usually bet that when I see a blowout occurring. One team better than the other by a wide margin. I don't see that here. So I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it. Player passing yards. Yeah, this is a huge number. 289, huge number. Remember, I'm at the 225, 250 range. 289 is a big number, guys. I don't like that number. I wouldn't tell you bet the under. I just don't like it. Rushing yards, Kavorian Barnes. They're saying TCU at 45. This is a guy that's currently listed third string. The sports books know something that I know, which is Kavorian Barnes, a great running back. Unfortunately, I've never really seen TCU running backs go for 40 yards. And I know that North Carolina's strength is their linebacker. They can stop the run. I don't like that 45 and a half for Kavorian Barnes. Now, I don't want to sell my man short. I love him to death. I'm not going to let fandom get in the way. I just don't like that over. I don't feel the need to bet the under, but I wouldn't be surprised if I watch this game, Kavorian Barnes doesn't even get enough carries to get to 45 yards. First off, Kavorian Barnes does not have breakaway speed. So you're looking at about 4 or 5 yards a carry. Let's just cap it at 4.5. So for him to get the over here, he's going to need 11 carries. When's the last time a TCU running back got 11 carries? I'm not going there. He needs 11 carries to hit that over. Is he going to get 11 carries? They're throwing the ball as often as possible. North Carolina's playing keep away to knock them off tempo. When do you get the lead and then just try to run up the lead? And you're going to use only Kavorian Barnes for those 11 carries? I don't like it. Not going to try to bet it. Don't feel the need to bet it. I like this over, but I wouldn't. I think there's more value in going 25 and hitting it for minus 200 than there is going 34. I really do. Don't like the 34. I like the 25 at minus 200. More parlayable. Receiving yards, sounds about right. McAllister's going to go ham. He's hard to stop. Dwyer, I hope that happens. We'll see. That's a big number for Manjack being the third option. Wouldn't touch it. As a matter of fact, I think if you had an option here, you would probably go Paysor at 43. Johnson's got a big number for him. Oh, there's Rogers at 26. Yeah, man. Yeah, guys. That's a solid play. DJ Rogers, excuse me. DJ Rogers at 26.5. He's going to need 3 receptions. That's a solid play. Not terrible. Wouldn't try to guess who's going to do any of this. We're done there. Okay, Prize Picks. So, Prize Picks, I have a couple of plays. I'll show you guys my lineups for tonight. I have 4 lineups. I didn't realize I made 4 lineups. That happens. My favorite lineup is actually my last one. This one right here. Let me try to control scroll for you guys. So this one right here is my last one, and it's just receptions. I think Jordan Dwyer is going to get 4 receptions. Okay, 4 receptions. Eric McAllister is going to get 4 receptions, and then Kobe Paysor is going to get 20 yards. Notice the little green goblins. To get those plays, you actually have to hit the green goblin multiple times, so I hope you get there. But I really like that parlay. I only put $2.85 on it. For those of you who don't know, I'm not a gambler, bro. I'm an analyst. I look for things in the books. I know what I'm doing. I analyze teams and I advise gamblers. I'm not a gambler. So if you're looking at it and going, Rico, what are you doing? 285. Yeah, bro. My bankroll is not what you think it is. I don't get down like that. Don't let me fool you. I have $10,000 on futures bets. So I don't really do the daily thing. I don't enjoy having something on every single game and getting overzealous and emotional about my analysis because I overextended myself by gambling. That's not me. I advise gamblers. I help you as much as I can. Think of me as the teacher who helps you pass a test on Friday, Saturday, and in this case, Monday. Okay, but I'm not one to sit there and retake the test over and over and over myself. No. And we've never hidden this from anybody. And there's some people who pull back at that. Some people hear my analysis and they're like, well, what bets did Rico make? And they're like, oh, he doesn't even take his own plays. Get the fuck out of here. You're looking for those cappers with the gold chains. Those guys are all lying with stacks of money and renting Ferraris and being like, I'm rich. Yeah, you're looking for those guys? That's not happening. I got real equity. I got real shit going on over here. Now we can talk about where we started and where we're at now and how successful we are and how good we are. The MVPs have been here for multiple years. Talk to the MVPs. Don't talk to me. I don't need to convince you to be an MVP. I don't try to sell you on it. Just tell you, hey, the only thing I've ever told you, download Patreon, search RicoKnows. Change your life. That's it. Now come to the Discord server and talk to other MVPs, and you'll hear them. They'll start telling you, hey, this is how you need to play this. This is how you need to do this. Listen to Rico. When he talks like this, he gets excited. That's when you know you need to make a bet. And you'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I got to read this guy's voice? Yeah, buddy. Consume the content a different way. Instead of just sitting there looking for a lottery ticket and a fortune cookie, sit down and listen to the lecture. Sit down and listen to the analysis. And then notice what gravitates to you. Notice what hits your ear a certain way, a different way. It's important. You got to learn to read, make your own reads in that regard. All right, so this bet right here, I made this one as well. Eric McAllister, once again, 4 receptions. Dwyer, 4 receptions. But this time I parlayed it with Gauss getting 50 yards rushing. I think it's very doable. He should get 50 yards. He'll get enough carries. They're going to try to implement the run game, things like that. So I like this one a lot. It's fine. 20 turns into 55. Pretty good. More Green Goblins. McAllister this time getting me 60 yards receiving. Gauss getting me the 50 yards rushing. And then Josh Hoover, 224.5 yards. Much lower than the 300 they have him listed, but that gets me 20 to 36. I'm not infatuated with 20 to 100, 20 to 150. I don't do none of that stuff, bro. I'm happy with the ROI I'm getting all day long. That's 16 for $20. Times that by 5, that's an 80% return. That's an 80% ROI. That's better than Bitcoin. I'm cool with that. That's a better than Bitcoin bet right there. I'm good. Last one, I added one extra leg, and that's Isaiah Johnson at 30 yards. Okay, so those are all my prize picks plays. Those are all the props that I'm talking about. Let's pull up the chart. So the chart, we always have 2 charts every single week. This is the chart where we talk about the spreads. This is the chart where we have a good time. We talk about the games and the outcomes of the games. And the chart's broken up in many columns. There's locks, leans, and coin flips all against the spread. Then there's money lines, locks, leans, and coin flips. Why do we do that? Because people parlay the money lines to make parlays that they're going to hit. And we have all this for you. We talk it through every single video, break it all down every single week. I'll be making the early video for week 2. I'll be making it right after this video, within about an hour or 2. So while we do this chart and we put all these entries, you can see where the TCU North Carolina game is and my assessment of it. It's a very low confidence game. It's not something you should be betting on. I don't recommend anyone betting on the coin flip games to begin with. That's where you're going to go red. That's where you're going to be 50-50. If you look this week, so far coin flips this year, I should say, we're 47% when picking coin flip games. If I tell you it's a lean game, we're 50-50 right now. If I tell you it's a lock, we're 64% against the spread. On the other side, if I tell you it's a lock, money line, we're right 94% of the time. It's silly, right? Leans, we're right 90% of the time. But if it's a coin flip game, we have been right 35% of the time. And some people might think that's like terrible. What it is it's an indication that if I put anything in the coin flip column, you should not be parlaying it. You should not even be betting on it. If it goes in the coin flip money line column, that is not a game you should be interested on the slate at all. And guess what? Tonight's game is in that column. You should not be interested in it at all from a money line perspective. Where should you be? It's right here. So these are our ways of flipping units. We've been pretty cold. We start the season off cold on prop bets because you don't know who's going to actually play in the games. You don't know how the coaches are going to use them. You don't know who's getting the starting job. You don't know what their tendencies are. They might have changed and worked all off season. Now, we have all the results for multiple years over here, and what we can tell you is this column's supposed to be at 42%. Over how many bets was that last year? Holy shit. 600 different entries on this chart in this column right here last year. 600. And we were at 42%. So this is down right now by 11%. That means we're going to catch up. These will improve. So here I have 3 entries that are going to improve. My 3 entries are Josh Hoover's going to have 250 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that's hitting for a full unit. I have Josh Hoover 250 yards, Gio Lopez 25 rushing yards for plus 104. And then I have 25 rushing yards for Gio Lopez. If you see it shaded green, that means it's a bet I personally made. I'm on that bet. Now, I'll also tell you that I'm going to add the ones I made earlier in the video. Then we go to the leans. We're hitting pretty good. We're at 48%. That's right where we were at last year. So we're right on pace. We're going to be hitting these, and these will always be in the negative numbers. It's not a big deal. What does that mean, Rico? Well, what it means is you can bet these straight across if you want, or you can parlay them and hope you have a good hit. Your strategy is your own. Some MVPs are better than others. But right here, I have Isaiah Johnson at 25 receiving yards at minus 260, Eric McAllister at 60 receiving yards at minus 210, and Jordan Dwyer at 40 receiving yards at minus 225. Go parlay them. Go figure that out. Do you. Do what you're comfortable with. But those are 3 that I really, really like. And I think we're going to hit those. Props. Value bets. These are the ones you shouldn't be making. And these are the ones the MVPs all love to make. Not MVPs, but non-MVPs love making these bets. You'll see here, we've given out 40 of these things so far. We're at 20% hit rate. Usually it's around 32%. And that's last year, 32% on 750 different plays. 32%. This is a huge indicator that you don't need to be making these bets at all. But some of you are going to make them anyways. Some of you are going to hit on them and feel really good dopamine hits. This is not where you make your money. This is Junkie's Corner right here. This is 1-800-CALL-GAMBLER. This is a bad spot to be in. All right, but let's talk about it. North Carolina, alternate spread plus 10.5. Josh Hoover, 2 passing touchdowns. Feels like a very doable play for those of you who can do alternate spreads and do props. It's at plus 150. That one will probably hit. Of all these, if I tell you 20% are going to hit, maybe 30% are going to hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays. Usually we would hit 3 out of 8. So let's just go 3 out of 7 here if we have a good night. 3 of these are going to hit, 4 are going to miss. Let's see which ones are going to hit. I'm pretty sure the top one's going to hit. Next one is 150 each half. Seems like a pipe dream, but there you go. Shout out to Josh Hoover. I'm on that 5 yards rushing every single quarter. It's plus 800. You don't need to throw much at it. It's plus 800. Just relax and hope we get 5 rushing yards from who I think are going to be the starting running backs tonight. But if Kavorian Barnes doesn't play, you just lost whatever you put on that real quick. The next one is 1 receiving touchdown each quarter. It's a plus 550. So if we get passing touchdowns from TCU every single quarter, shout out to North Carolina if they help out with that. It could be from either team. It doesn't matter. Josh Hoover to throw 3 touchdowns tonight is a plus 225. I think it's incredible value for Josh Hoover. If TCU is going to be scoring in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be that way. Now, it might take midseason form for Josh Hoover to throw 3 touchdowns against North Carolina. Let's just hope he's in midseason form right now. He's been the starting quarterback for 3 years, right? So feels pretty good. 20 yards in each half at plus 520. I talked to you guys about that. I feel like that is a must make of a bet. That is a must make of a bet, especially with the way they throw the ball. And then Gio Lopez, 25 rushing yards each half. It's going to be difficult, but it's at plus 520. You can't ignore it at that rate. So those are all the props to think about. Obviously, I screenshot a few. Thank you guys for being MVPs. Thank you guys for believing in me. If you're not an MVP, the way to do it, you can do it 2 different ways. Here on YouTube, you just hit the join button and then go down and select MVP. It's $25 a month. But that is not what we recommend. What we recommend is you download Patreon, search RicoKnows, and then become an MVP that way. And the reason for that is I can actually put screenshots of the charts on Patreon. I can't put these charts on YouTube. A lot of you guys ask me for the charts. Can you please post them? Can we see them? I can't do it on YouTube. It doesn't allow me. It's a pixel limitation. Patreon, no issue. So please go that route. For the YouTube MVPs, those of you who are YouTube MVPs, you're like, I never get these charts. We do post them. They're just on Discord. All you have to do, if you're a YouTube MVP, is go down here to your little cogwheel, go to connections, and then in connections, you connect your YouTube account to the Discord server, and you're in. Okay? Do not show up to the Discord server if you're not an MVP. You won't be able to see any of the content. You see all these trophies? All this is locked. And the only way to unlock it, you don't got to pay me anything. The only way to unlock it, you don't have to offer to send me a Cash App. Like all these people doing all this stupid shit, you don't have to do that. You go to Patreon or YouTube and become an MVP. Connect your accounts to Discord, and then it will automatically give you access to these. When you see in here how to connect to MVP, see how it's white? These are people in here trying to figure it out. And look at this. This is Lumpy Taters, and he's saying, what sportsbook do you get your lines from? This is a silly question to ask. It doesn't matter where I get my lines from. I use FanDuel as an example. You can go get your lines wherever you want. Everything I talk about is just for a point of reference. Where you get your information is where you get your information. What books you have in your state is your business. This guy is making it individually about him, and he wants to make it about me. This is not a good MVP. This is not what you want to do. And by the way, I had to help Lumpy Taters for fucking half an hour last night connect to the Discord server. That's what all this is. We should not be having conversations in this channel. That's a whole nother conversation. Nonetheless, if you're not an MVP, not connected, you will be in these non-MVP channels right here. It's not where you want to be. You want to be over here with the MVPs discussing and talking about the plays, what they're doing, all the latest news. We have injury updates in here. We'll let you know who's injured for the night. We have depth charts so you know who's starting in games. We get the news before everybody else. Yes, we have insiders with I shouldn't say every single team. We have insiders with multiple teams, so we know what's happening before Twitter, before the news, before ESPN, before On3, 24/7, any of that crap. So we're just on it, just so you guys are aware. But these are the channels you want to be in. And don't forget, we do UFC year-round, and I'm better at UFC than I am at college football. I'm better at UFC than I am at college football. My locks on UFC are somewhere in the 80% range. I'm not even joking. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Shout out to you guys. Peace.